Howdy everyone, Poacher here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video we're doing the hero spotlight for Virashan, the melee damager for the Federici. We'll go over his stats, abilities, talk a little bit about the character, and check out the animations for his skills. So let's get into it. Coming in at maxed out, his hit points sit at just shy of 30 million, speed 219, physical damage 3.1 million. And going in, we're going to have a look at his attack here. So he's got physical critical damage chance 49%. This is going to be important when going over one of his skills. We really want to look into this. And overall, some nice damage. Yeah, but feel free to stop, have a look at whatever you want. Take whatever information you need to. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's jump into the arena and check out this character. Jumping into the arena, we have Virashan's basic ability, Double Impact. Performs 2 melee physical attacks on the target. Every hit casts 2 stacks of a debuff, reducing the target's dodge chance by 100%. 1 stack is spent each time damage is taken. Awakening the skill, if the target misses or the target dodges, Virashan gains 4 stacks of Law of Fatum. So going ahead and looking at the animation of the ability, we can go ahead and he'll jump across and kick the character. And there you go. He has the 2 debuffs on him. He can no longer dodge for 2 attacks. Very interesting ability. The Awakening, the 4 Law of Fatum stacks is always going to be really, really helpful. But you almost only want to awaken this skill, I want to say, if you're versing a team of characters where you know they're going to be dodging. Because if he hits the first strike, it's going to apply the debuff and he's not going to miss the next strike. So it almost works against the Awakening. But if you're versing a team that has high dodge, you know that the first attack is going to miss, then by all means awaken this and get the benefit from that, because it will also prevent the character from dodging other attacks as well. Virashan's second skill is Dragon Claw. Performs a melee physical attack on all enemies. Critical damage chance is increased by 10% for every other allied Federici or melee damager. If Virashan has the Rage of the Ancients effect, he gains 20% initiative for every enemy damaged by this ability. Has a chance equal to Virashan's physical fortitude to perform one random buff to remove one random buff from the enemy, Awakening this, higher percent of critical damage chance increase, the amount of initiative received is increased as well, and it triggers the melee damager class mark. So just keep in mind the stats in the skill are what they are after the skill is awakened. So we'll go ahead and look at the animation of the ability. He'll jump across the field. Yeah, I know he slams the ground. Oh, a little bit of a earth shattering there. That's pretty cool. So ranged melee attack, really nice, really nice. So yeah, you have the potential to get pretty decent initiative from this, but he has to be in the range of the Ancients state, and that is from one of his other abilities. We'll see that soon enough. And his damage chance his critical damage chance is increased by 10% for every other allied Federici or melee damager. Spoiler alert, he has a leadership ability that allows him to work with melee damages. We've got 5 melee damages on the team. We're just going to let that play at the end just for a bit of fun, see what happens against these tanky gatekeepers. That's something I do personally want to test as well, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. So critical damage chances increase. If there is the potential to get it to 100%, then you could potentially build this character with crit damage and see what could be done from there. But it's really hard. Like I said, I've talked about this a few times in the Federici Spotlight videos. Really hard to pick what to build on these medallions. Haven't tested medallions yet. They benefit so much from hit points. But if you're going to run Virashan as the melee damager leader, then hit points probably aren't going to be the best for him because he won't get that boost from Sapani. So just keep that in mind. I think it's going to really depend on how you want to use this character. Are you more than happy to use him in the Federici squad, or do you want to create a brand new squad with melee damages? So just keeping that in mind. If you're going to go melee damager route, that's going to be more for, I think, clan battles. Insane as well, there is Titans coming, which we know are single bosses that we need to fight, and these bosses are going to have special restrictions to it. So, and I am saying this at 100% honesty, I do not know the restrictions to these bosses, but it just seems really convenient. We're getting a character with a leadership skill that works with a specific group of characters outside of a race, because we haven't seen that in a long time. So it's very, very interesting, very coincidental timing. Just keep that in mind when looking at this hero. His next skill is Facet of Fatum. The ability is not available if Rage of the Ancients is active. Cast a Federici mark on all enemies or a melee damager mark if Virashan is the squad leader. HP cannot drop below 1 for 3 turns or until receiving 7 hits. Receives a shield equal to 100% of his max HP, then reduces his max HP to 1. Cast 7 stacks of Law of Fatum on himself. When on the defense in clan battles, cannot receive debuffs for 3 turns. Awakening this skill, efficiency of the melee damager mark is increased. Hit limit is increased to protect against HP loss. And when on the defense in clan battles, this ban on debuffs lasts longer. So the cast their melee damager mark. When the melee damager hits, all their allies restore 35% of their maximum HP. So of course you're using a team of melee damagers. They're not going to have healing in their skills. So this is going to be a way for healing to be present if you're using that. Is it Brotherhood? I want to say Brotherhood. Oh no, it's not. It's not Brotherhood. I apologize because it's a leadership skill. Silly me to think Playcott would be giving us something cool like another Brotherhood. It's just a leadership skill, but there you go. That's going to be how you're going to get healing through this team if you use melee damages. Overall, very interesting skill. I don't know how this is going to play out because he cuts his HP down to 1 HP, and then he gains a shield equal to 100% of his max HP. So let's go ahead and cast the ability because I'm pretty sure that the skill. So yep, there we go. And you can see it's not just reducing his HP to 1. It's actually cutting the HP completely. It cannot be healed. So it's a very, very interesting skill. I have no idea how it's going to play out because what's going to happen if you verse characters who can bypass shield, remove shield, those types of things need to be very much considered when using this hero. It's almost putting him in a extremely vulnerable state and it can go wrong very badly. But like I said, I haven't really tested how this is going to affect the character itself. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But overall, on defense in clan battles, he's going to be protected from debuffs for 3 turns. That is with the awakening as well. He can apply healing to the faction. Maybe the team's just going to be so strong it's going to wipe out characters before anything can really happen. But yeah, just keep that in mind. If used in the with the Federici and he's not the leader, he applies the Federici mark. But other than that, the melee damager mark. So there are some nice melee damages. I really hope, though, that it'd be nice to see other melee damages released that benefit other melee damages. Like they have these little marks or something that they can trigger off each other that boosts the squad. Because at the end of the day, it's very hard to make a group of ragtag heroes compete with full factions. Just full factions. Most teams we see today are built of 5 heroes from the same faction or 4 heroes from the same faction and 1 random hero. Very scarcely do we ever see 3 heroes and 2 from a different faction unless it's really beneficial to that group. For example, Renegade Demons, but they'll benefit from each other. But then you see other factions that have like maybe a Flora and a Raymond placed in them. So stuff like that. If you're going to put little things like this into the game, which I'm all for, I'd love to see mixed teams like this. I just wish there was more support for those teams. And it wasn't just something to keep people a little bit happy that it's a little bit different. I wish there was a bit more support to it than just a leadership skill. So yeah, but it looks like the Rage of the Ancients is going to be pretty important to his character. I believe it is in the next skill, so let's get into it. Moving on to his passive, we have Vessel of Rage. We're not going to cover the Laws of Fatum thing. It's the same for every Federici. We'll move on to the specific stuff. When Virashan has accumulated 10 or more Law of Fatum stacks, he loses all debuffs and gains an irremovable effect called Rage of the Ancients for 3 turns. Dragon Claw cooldown is reduced to 0 and cannot be increased. The ability itself cannot be blocked. Damage dealt is increased by 20% of the hero's missing HP. Okay, makes sense why he cuts his HP down to 1. And damage taken is reduced by 80%. While the hero has shields, his buffs cannot be removed before the end. When the effect expires, all debuffs that reduce maximum HP are removed from the hero. Shields can only be removed from Virashan by dealing damage. Okay, alright, to be honest, I didn't look too far into this character's passive. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because this is kind of nice. Virashan is protected from abilities that instantly kill the hero upon reaching a certain HP threshold. So he's pretty much covered on all bases. He cuts his HP down to 1, he becomes a damaging monster, and he's protected. Essentially protected. You just need to break through that shield. Awakening. In clan battles, enemies killed by Virashan or another allied melee damager cannot be revived until the end of the battle. That's really nice as well. So, man, this makes it really hard, because I was really pushing towards damage, crit damage, or attack damage on this character. But knowing that when he goes to 1 HP, he's pretty much fully protected until his shield breaks, there's almost the potential to still put hit points on his medallion, since that's just going to make his shield so much stronger, make it harder for the enemy to break through it, and he's just going to be a damaging machine for a lot longer. If you're wondering why it's taking so long for these characters to kill these gatekeepers, it's because I've boosted their HP by 5 times, so it was going to take a little while to get through it. But yeah, okay. Yeah, this is really nice. Jeez. I don't know what more to say. This almost protects him. You just break through his shield. You can't just cut his shield down like you would. You can't remove his shield. You have to damage it down to 0, and then that 1 HP is the final stand for this character. But oh man, that is it doesn't look like it's going to be too easy to break through it at all. So yeah, really, really nice passive. I really like that. I think that suits the character very much. Very well. Very much. Very well. Finally, we have his leadership skill, Willpower. Increases the HP of other allied melee damagers by 125% and their damage by 75%. When on the defense in clan battles, these stats are doubled. When an enemy uses a special ability that causes damage or casts debuffs, an allied melee damager receives 30% of initiative. Allies are guaranteed to deal critical damage to targets with skip turn, stun, shock, or disorientate effects. In clan battles, reduces the special ability cooldown of all other allied melee damages by 1 turn to a minimum of 3 turns. Awakening this in clan battles at the start of the battle prevents all other allied melee damages from receiving debuffs for 3 turns. So protects everyone from debuffs. Massive boost to HP, massive boost to damage. It's doubled in defense, which is crazy. I mean, so be it, you're going to use it as a defense team, but it would be so much fun to be able to use it on the offense. To be able, you still can. 125% health and 75% bonus damage is nothing to scoff at. It's still pretty decent, but I mean, it's doubled on defense. You're just going to place them somewhere, and you know, because it's mixed faction, that's really nice, and you're just going to watch people ram into it thinking it's going to be easy kill, but you never know. Maybe they just tear up, absolutely tear up. The only issue is, and I've tried to pick melee damages that aren't being used in other areas of the game. You could potentially put Morrigan in here as well. Completely up to you. Like I said, lots of testing still needs to be done. But the issue is a lot of the melee damages that are good are being used in their squads. As simple as that. It's going to be hard to take out from those squads. For example, Superior. Maybe when the 2 new Chaos Spawn come into the picture, you could take Superior out, put one of them in, and chuck Superior into this squad. I really like Roynar in here because he's so good at removing buffs from the enemy. He does decent damage to shields as well. Tyros just reset initiative, decent damage. Freyhel, I think is going to be really good. I really hope Freyhel gets some awakenings. I think she could really pop off in this squad. She's always been a really nice character. She just lacks something. So hopefully some awakenings can really boost that in Theodore. I don't know if you want to use Theodore. I just chucked him in because he was at the top of the list of melee damages. So, Theodore. What is anyone ever gonna really do with you? Hopefully, we can find something. I really do. But there you go. There is a Virashan. I think he's a really nice character. How we're going to start using him, who knows? We'll figure that out in the coming weeks. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer to the best of my ability. And everyone in the world, until next time, please take care of yourself.